This is a tutorial on how to make my new tri-fold cards or invitations. I'm assuming that you're here because you've clicked the link in the PDF of instructions on how to make these. If you've just happened upon this video, I'll put a link in the description below on where you can buy the template to make these. All you need is some cardstock paper and a paper cutting machine like a Cricut or a Silhouette, several other types of paper cutting machines as well. So first I just want to say this design, I started with this tiara, which is so cute. It's sized for a kid, so it doesn't fit me right now, but it's just so cute and I just loved it. So then I made it into a gift card holder, which actually this one has the gift card in it. So I'll show you this one. This just flips up and then there's your gift card that slides in there. And then this slides into that slit to close it. And so those are the other two things that are matching if you want like a full set. And I'm sure I'll add more with this design as time goes on because it's just so fun to work with and it's so cute. So the first thing that we'll go over in this video is this white card here. So it includes the "You're Invited" text on it, and you can turn it off in Design Space if you don't want to use it. Or you can keep it on and then just add your text here, and of course whatever text you want to add in Design Space you can do, and I'll show you how to do the print then cut option with that, and then how to assemble this card, which is super easy. And this card also does come with a envelope template, and these cards are the standard 5x7 cards, and then this is the standard A7 size envelope. So you could buy your own A7 envelopes if you don't want to make this one. This one does take a 12x12 sheet of paper because it's pretty big. And sometimes it's just, if you're making a ton of these, it's probably easier to just buy them, but up to you. So let's get started on setting up the card. So we'll set up our actual invite card. I already included this "You're Invited" text. If you don't like it, you can just hover over that layer and click the eye icon to turn it off, or you can leave it. It's totally up to you. I didn't add everything just because I can't have text on there that you can edit. So you'll just click the text tool and you can change your font up here. You can use system fonts or you can click to the Cricut fonts if you want to buy a new one, but you can just use one off of your computer. I'm using Avenir. I think that it's on most computers, or at least on most Macs. I'm not sure about PCs, but any font will work. Helvetica is a popular one too, or Arial, or just, whatever you like. And then just type in the text for your event. I just made this up. Kathleen Kelly, feeling the fall moods. And, add in your information, style it however you want. You can change the colors if you're using a color printer. You can change the font sizes, make different text boxes, design it however you want to. Okay, so once you have all of your text entered, you'll want to, I'm going to pull this layer down to be in the same grouping as my card is. I think you need to do that. And then select all three of your layers and go up to Align, where I'm circling, and click the center horizontally. There it is. Sorry, I couldn't find it. Just to make sure that it's perfectly aligned. And then go back to your right panel and click this Flatten at the bottom right. I'm hovering over it just so it flashes so you can see it better. And then when you flatten it, it automatically sets it to print then cut, which is perfect, so you don't have to change it up there. And then hit Make. And then Continue, or you can move it around on your screen if you want to. And then it takes you to this screen and you will send to printer. Make sure that you have the correct paper that you want already in your printer, not just your copy paper, unless that's what you're using. And then click Next and it will go to your printer. And then just add your printout to your Cricut mat, making sure that the little arrow in the top left is pointing to your machine. And then once you insert your mat into your machine, your Cricut will read the black lines on all four sides before it cuts, and then you are done with that piece. So I've already folded all of my pieces, so go ahead and do that if you haven't already. And I will say I left these bars here just so that you could more easily fold it without damaging anything, but I also did use my ruler. You just set it right on the, on the score line to fold it over, just to make it a little bit easier. You don't have to do that, or even a book, just any kind of straight edge really is helpful on that. And then I also used my Cricut scraper tool to kind of really flatten them, and then I even put them under some books for a little bit. I probably should do it like overnight to really get them to flatten. They don't have to completely flatten, it just would look nicer. And if you don't have one of these, you could use a credit card or your ruler or any other flat edge surface. So the first thing would be to take your what'd you call this piece? Your invite information, and then we'll, I guess, open up your invite and then glue it in here. And it's a pretty decent sized border, so even if you don't get it exactly perfect, it's fine, but you do kind of want to make sure on these two sides that they're even so that this doesn't show where you glued it, but it's pretty easy to do. I'm going to use this glue, but for this project, I also feel like some crafter's tape, like this AdTech brand, would be really good for this project too. The only problem that I have with this is that it lasts for a while, but eventually it does kind of lose its stick. But sending a card would be fine with that, but I'm still gonna just use my glue. So just go ahead and go lightly, because if you have like big lines of glue, like thick lines, they will show through. So the trick is to go really, really lightly and make sure you get right at the edges. And a little goes a long way with this. I know I say that all the time if you've watched my other tutorial videos, but it really does. And if you have like a spray adhesive, that would probably be better, but it's just kind of messy to work with, and I don't think I have any at the moment. So it does, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of eyeball it. And another great thing with the glue is that you can still move it a little bit, whereas the crafter's tape, once it's down, and then so you can kind of fold it over, and so it's fine on both of those sides. So I'm gonna go ahead and really rub that down. Okay, so you have that, and that is all the glue that you'll need, well, except for the envelope, if you're using the envelope. So I included this just because it's nice if you want like a specific color, or you're making everything, you don't have the envelopes on hand. But if you're making a lot of these, like for a wedding or a big event, you could just go out and buy A7 envelopes, and they will fit these as well, and that will save you a lot of time. I'll go over through the assembly of that later. That does need glue though. But so we'll just fold these back, and like I said, probably put them under a book for a little while. Somehow I got glue there. I don't know how that happened. It's weird. Okay, so fold it back, and then this little belly band will just fit around it. You could assemble it and then slide it over, but I've had kind of trouble doing that, so I really just recommend putting it over the top. And it doesn't have to be exactly where you want it, you can slide it. And then on the back, use these, and make sure that the slits are cut. Sometimes right on the edge it's not quite cut, so just make sure that they are, and then kind of, you have to bend the card a little bit, but it's fine, you won't damage it. And I don't know why I'm having such a hard time doing this. It's really, okay, it's really not that difficult. I don't know why that was. So then, you can slide it up and down for the placement that you want, and then that is your card. Okay, so then I mean, you do the same thing with this card. I'm not going to do that in the video, but your envelope here. So what you will do, I would, if you're mailing these, I would not, don't use this. I would not recommend it. Use a glue for sure. Okay, so I think I'm actually gonna do, I'm just gonna do here on the edge. But also make sure that you don't have it so that it'll get right here, because then you won't be able to slide your card in. And then just fold that down to attach. And this one too, you could probably use your scraper to really get the crease down. And then you will slide your card in your envelope, making sure that these don't get caught. Okay, like this, and then you could, this is the tricky part too, you could glue it again. I probably would glue it and then maybe even just put a sticker there, but the glue would hold as well. And then obviously your mailing instructions, addresses on the front. So I hope that this tutorial made assembly for this card a breeze. And if you have any questions that maybe I didn't cover something, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. So I hope that you enjoy this little card as much as I enjoyed making it. Thanks so much for watching.